What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Passable Ball Knowledge Podcast. My name is Sam. That over there is Aaron. Sorry, I hit the mic. That right there is Aaron. Uh, it is a just unbelievable news segment, like last few days with we were anticipating just kind of doing a wild card game coverage, and it was an awesome weekend of wild card games, maybe the best we've ever seen. I was really excited to talk about these games. And then today, like a gigantic bomb was dropped on the NFL. Firings across the board. There's obviously one big one that we are going to touch on very soon. But before we get into that, Aaron, how are you doing?
Doing pretty good.
One word.
Extravagant.
Ooh, he's feeling extravagant today. I'm pleasant. I'm feeling pleasant. And that's going to lead us right into why I'm feeling pleasant, because today was a crazy news day, capped off by the wholly unexpected stepping down of Mike Tomlin. The Steelers head coach for the last 19 seasons has announced that he will be stepping down from the head coaching position. It will be the Steelers. He was the only third Steelers coach since 1969. It is a really, really, really surprising decision here from Mike Tomlin, who, I think all in all was expected to probably stay. And he says, nope, I'm stepping away. The way Ian Rapport makes it sound, he makes it sound like he's taking a break. Like this is not like I'm stepping away to take another job this cycle. This is I'm stepping down to at least take a year, if not more. For all we know, we might have seen Mike Tomlin coach his last game. This is just a huge piece of news, very unexpected. Aaron, what's kind of your immediate take on Mike Tomlin stepping down?
Obviously I'm shocked. I was just not really doing anything, and then Mike Tomlin got fired at like 2:00. Like it was not like a morning firing where it's like, okay, game's over and now he's getting fired. It kind of took a second, which honestly, it never even like crossed my mind that he was going to get fired. Like they lost like really bad yesterday. I was like, okay, they'll get a new quarterback next year, and then they'll be back here again. So it wasn't even like in my mind that he was going to get fired.
I would just like to say, man, he did not get fired. This is
not fired.
Yeah. This is a Mike Tomlin decision. This is not a Steelers decision.
Yeah, sorry. But when he resigned, I was still surprised, obviously. But it really just leaves things up in the air, because this is the first time in 20 years that the Ravens and the Steelers job has been open. So, but it's exciting.
It's a time of change. And it kind of reminds me a few years ago when Bill Belichick and Pete Carroll got fired, and it was like, damn, these are two coaches that have been around for, Bill Belichick was around for 20 plus seasons at that point. Pete Carroll was around for about like 13. They both get, let go. And it's a similar situation now, except I'm really happy that Mike Tomlin was able to do this on his own terms. I think if he's tired,
I think it speaks a lot to how he is.
I mean, there was stagnation there, so like you respect the decision to step away. You respect like it. You kind of saw it with the Ravens and the Steelers, like they both kind of flattened out, plateaued after all this time. The Ravens made their decision. Mike Tomlin made his decision. And those teams will be totally new next year. It is a just wild process. The way it sounds like the Steelers weren't expecting this. It sounds like this was a fairly recent decision from Mike Tomlin, but clearly he knew going into last night that if he lost, this was going to be his last game in Pittsburgh. Now, important notes here. Mike Tomlin is doing something similar to what Sean Payton did a few years ago, where he is not retiring. He is not being fired. His contract is still there. Therefore, if Mike Tomlin were to want to coach somewhere else, the Steelers own his rights. So if he wanted to go somewhere as a head coach, he would have to be either released by the Steelers, which is unlikely. The more likely situation is that they would trade him, like what happened with Sean Payton when he stepped away from New Orleans, and then New Orleans traded him to Denver just a year later after taking a break. So it is a real time of upheaval in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, I mean, this is a job that is coveted. This is a coveted position, a position that only opens once pretty much every 20 years, has opened again. And this is a team that has a culture of winning. And even if they have kind of become this joke of like 10-7, 9-8 every single season, regardless, they win. And it's a talented roster, albeit an old roster, an expensive roster, but it is talented nonetheless. I mean, the AFC North is almost going to entirely have new coaches next year, besides Zach Taylor, who might get fired next year. So, like, the AFC North is entirely different. Who do you think? I already immediately have a name that pops into my mind. Who do you think is going to ultimately be the successor to Mike Tomlin and hopefully continue that lineage of successful Steelers coaches?
When he got fired, I didn't really think about, who was going to be the coach. It just never really crossed my mind, so I didn't even think about who was going to coach the Steelers. But earlier, I think the first person that came into my mind, he's similar to Tomlin, I think, like style-wise. He's a great coach. He's a winning coach, and he's coached for the Steelers before. We talked about him last episode. I think that Brian Flores.
Yeah, you stole my thunder. God damn.
I think Brian Flores is the successor to Tomlin.
Yeah, coached in Pittsburgh before. That feels like the guy. I think Pittsburgh is going to make a run at some flashy candidates. Like, I think they're probably calling Marcus Freeman. They're probably calling a lot of surprise names. I think they might call Curt Cignetti just to see if he even picks up the phone. I believe Cignetti is from Pittsburgh, so that might be the connection there. But I don't think Curt Cignetti will leave, so no. I think that's kind of a waste of time. But you may as well make the call. But yeah, I mean, this is a huge piece of news. I think at the end of the day, Mike Tomlin is a Hall of Fame coach. He might have flattened, but he coached 19 years and never had a losing season. I mean, that kind of says it all. And the guy stepping in Pittsburgh will have big shoes to fill. And it's not just Mike Tomlin's shoes. It is the shoes of, it's not just Mike Tomlin's shoes. It's the shoes of Chuck Noll and the shoes of Bill Cowher, these coaches that were there for another 20 plus years before him. So it is a coveted position. It is a pressure position, and it is a premier NFL franchise that has a head coach opening. So really excited to see where that goes. We had another few firings today. A couple of these are kind of obvious after the playoff game, but I think I saw at least one of these firings coming. Kevin Patullo, the Eagles offensive coordinator, has been fired. It is worth noting that Nick Sirianni said he would like to keep Patullo on staff in some fashion, just not as the OC. So it might be like a forced stepping down for Kevin Patullo in a way. But this was kind of foreshadowed a little bit by that wild card game. I don't want to get too much into it now. I don't really want to talk too much about the game. We'll get there when we get there. But Aaron, first thoughts on this Eagles OC opening. Like, do you think that this is a prize position here?
I mean, just like my first thoughts before like the prize part. Honestly, I kind of expected it, or I didn't expect it, but I figured that, something wasn't working. This offense looked really flat this year. Saquon didn't have as big of a year, even though he still played well. I feel like for some reason they kind of drifted away from Saquon, like for like no reason, because Jalen Hurts can't carry an offense. Like he just can't have a game where he throws the ball 40 times. So that can go. I guess I can go on Saquon a little bit too. He didn't perform as well, but I wasn't surprised that he was fired. And as far as like being a prized position, I think it definitely is. You have a championship offense. I mean, this team won the Super Bowl last year with essentially the same team. Um, and maybe AJ Brown's going to be gone after this year. That's been kind of a rumor that's been squirreling. Um, you know, going around. So I think even if AJ Brown gets traded, it's still definitely a prize position in the league.
Yeah, I think we will touch on that Eagles offense more and however long in this episode we will definitely touch on it. But Patullo is fired. It felt like it was going to happen. That Eagles offense was really upsetting to watch as a football fan. So we'll see where that goes. Also, the Chargers fired their offensive coordinator Greg Roman after the yet again anemic offensive performance. They also fired their offensive line coach, which was expected because despite their success, the Chargers had the single worst offensive line in football this year. So a couple big firings there for LA. We will touch on those later. I say we just hop right into these games. I say we go through them chronologically. So we'll start with Rams, Panthers, end at Texans, Steelers, and we will give our thoughts on everything and anything. This is going to be a long episode, so buckle up. If you need a sandwich, pause and get that sandwich now because we are locking in as we speak. We're going to start with Panthers, Rams, and what a way to kick off the postseason, right? The underdog, scrappy Panthers really put a scare into the heart of the Rams. I think the Rams, were really expecting to walk in and just win easily. That did not happen. The Panthers had the lead with like under 2 minutes to play. Matt Stafford has a big drive. Everything kind of goes from there. The Panthers have a very flat, upsetting last drive where they literally gained no yards on 4 plays, and the game is over. But the Panthers lose 34-31, a game where they were playing much closer than expected. As many takeaways as you could have about the Panthers, you really need to take away what is with the Rams because the Rams are advancing. The Rams are the team that is going to play on. They are going to play Chicago in the next round in Chicago. I mean, Aaron, what are your thoughts on this Rams team? Because on one end, you see, 34 points, Matt Stafford game-winning drive, Puka Nacua had a good day, a couple touchdowns. You can't help but be like, man, this Rams team could be dangerous. But then at the same time, you look and they're like, well, for about 55 minutes of game time, they were locked in a real battle with a team that they probably should have beat by more. So what is your feeling on the Rams ultimately as we move past this into the next round?
I, at least watching this game, I thought this team looked very beatable. And who they play next week? They play the Bears, right?
Play the Bears.
I think the Bears could, if this team plays the same as they did against Carolina, they obviously score a lot of points. But like I know I'm a Falcons fan, I can't really talk a lot, but you let the Panthers score 31 points on you when you are gonna face better offenses in this playoff. Like even like the Bears next week, I think the Bears have a way better offense than the Panthers. But I thought, this game was a little bit different because I thought for a lot of the game, Matt Stafford looked really off. He just wasn't accurate. There was a stretch where he went like 8 straight incompletions after starting like 5 for 5.
Let me pull up the stats here for Matt Stafford on my phone. Yeah, Matt Stafford, 24 for 42, 304 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. But he really should have had 2 because Puka had to save a pick. I don't know if you remember that. Puka had to save a pick late in the game. So
so not the Panthers. I think the Rams looked very beatable in this game, and whether that means they'll lose next round, I don't know. But I think if the Rams want to win the Super Bowl this year, they need Matt Stafford to play better. I mean, he ended up throwing 3 touchdown passes, but for that like first half, he looked really bad, and then he kind of, did his thing and like towards the end of the game. Um, so I thought this Rams team looked very beatable in this game.
Yeah, I mean, and I think the storyline with the Rams for me is ultimately you look at what the Rams were going into in this playoff, right? Where they have start off, like if you go back a few games, you play the Seahawks in Seattle, you blow a 16-point lead in the fourth quarter, you blow a 16-point lead, and then Seattle ends up beating you in that really like game of the year style game. Okay, whatever, we move on. And then you're like, okay, well, the Rams have the Falcons next week. That's a great get back game. And the Falcons kind of put it to the Rams. Like their run defense looked terrible. Matt Stafford turned the ball over 3 times. And then the Falcons end up beating them on Monday Night Football. And then now you're starting to be like, okay, where are the Rams? Like before that Seahawks game, the Rams were the no doubt Super Bowl favorite. Like everybody had the Rams as the number 1 team to watch. And then they lose to the Seahawks in a really big like collapse. They lose to the Falcons in a huge upset. And then they beat the Cardinals pretty handily at the end of the day. But you look through halfway through the third quarter of that Cardinals game, the Cardinals were beating them. So it's like, what are the Rams? And they had this chance to go into Carolina, an 8-9 playoff team, and really set the tone. They are the first game. If they went into Carolina and just stomped out the Panthers, you would be able to silence all the doubt. And the Panthers took you all 10 rounds, and they did not play their best game of football. Like the Panthers turned the ball over a lot. Bryce Young was on the ground constantly. They had drops. They had serious lapses at times on offense and defense. And you could only scrap out this 3-point win. So when I look at the Rams, I see, man, Matt Stafford, Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams, this defense. They got Jared Verse and they got Kobe Turner and Byron Young. Man, this team is definitely a Super Bowl contender. And then they just put together these like games where they're hardly beating some of these teams that they really should be throttling. So I think the Rams are in an identity crisis for me, in my opinion. They've given up 31 plus in their last 4 games.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about like the fourth quarter Rams and how they blew the lead to Seattle and how they came alive in the Cardinals game and kind of saved themselves in the last couple minutes of this Panthers game. You're playing the Bears next week. That team is just coming off of a massive comeback win against the Packers. They've had like 7 fourth quarter comebacks this year. You can't come alive in the fourth quarter against every team. That's just not how the game works. And if you play how you did against Seattle against the Bears, that Bears team is going to win. They've been very resilient in the fourth quarter. They've looked better down the stretch. And, I guess we'll talk about them in a second. But so, yeah, you just can't win in the fourth quarter against every team.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, shout out to the Panthers. That's really all I can say. I'm not going to delve too much into what this game means
season.
For the Panthers. Yeah, they had a tough season. I mean, like they really gritted and grinded to get to where they were, and then they almost beat the Rams at home. And you got to have respect for what they did. But my general takeaway on the Rams is by no means do I think that this team is inevitable, which I kind of felt like they were a few weeks ago. Like I thought this Rams team was far and away the best team in football. And now I think there's an argument to be made that right now they're playing like the 4th best team in football, maybe even the 5th best team in football. Like that's where I am. So like if the Rams play the 49ers tomorrow, a month ago I would have picked the Rams and it would have locked that up. But now I'm like, I'm not sure. If the Rams play the Patriots tomorrow, I would have been like, oh, the Rams are winning that game. But now I'm not sure. Same with the Broncos. Same with the Bills. I just don't know what to feel about this Rams team, and you only have so many more weeks to pick it up. And in the playoffs, it's hard to like have some big turnaround. Like you can have a big turnaround over the span of like week 5 to week 10. But from the wild card game to the Super Bowl, like you can't have these buffer weeks where you're trying to turn something around because a loss is it. You're done. So we'll see how they fare against the next game we're going to talk about, the victor of the next game. The Chicago Bears, who beat the Packers 31-27, dramatic comeback, 20 down 21-3 at halftime, and they essentially dominate the second half. They outscore the Packers 28-6 in the second half.
Scored 25 points in the fourth quarter.
Scored 25 in the fourth. Just a really miraculous win for this Bears team that, I mean, it's like, man, they just don't play until the fourth quarter. Like, it's weird. They just don't really play until it's late. And then when it's late, they wake up. That being said, Aaron, I'm curious how you feel about this. I'm highly skeptical of this Bears team because you can only start slow so many times, right?
Yeah.
Like
I mean, it's the same thing.
Well, before you get into that, I just want to say, like, I want to preface this. I think that's what makes this playoff so fun is that every team has a discernible flaw. There's not some juggernaut where you're like, well, they're going to win. It's not like the Chiefs from a few years ago or the Eagles where you're just like, man, there's just nothing you can do. I think every team this playoffs has a discernible flaw. I just wanted to say that, but Aaron, go ahead.
Yeah. Kind of going back to what I said about the Rams, it goes the same for the Bears, especially in the playoffs. You can't just play good in the fourth quarter only or in the second half only. You need to get out to hotter starts, and I know they won this game, but if I am Ben Johnson, that is the thing I'm stressing the most. It's sweet to have a comeback victory. It's nice to have a comeback victory, but you gotta get out to better starts. And it's not like this Bears offense really put the team on their back. Jordan Love played great. He threw 4 touchdowns, no picks. He threw a good amount of incompletions, but like you just got to start faster. That's really all you have to say about the Bears. And yeah, there's definite flaws in this team. I'm not going to go too into it. I'm going to let you do that because you know more than me. But yeah, there's definite flaws with this team. I think they're a good team. I think that they're good enough to beat the Rams. But yeah, that's all I'm going to say for now.
Yeah, the Bears are an enigma to me. They have this energy where you win that game and you're feeling really good, and Ben Johnson's in the locker room hyping everybody up. And by the way, I just want to appreciate how much this rivalry has blossomed since Ben Johnson got there. It's really fun to see Packers and Bears coming back, and they hate each other and they fight, and the coaches don't like each other, and everything is good and golden and fun. But there's something about this Bears team. You just can't start like you do against the Rams or against the Seahawks. You know what I mean? Like, because here's the thing. I would say, like, you start slow like that against the Seahawks, it's going to be hard to grind out that many points in the fourth quarter against a defense as good as theirs, right? Like, that's just the fact of it all. I think that this Bears team can't rely on a fourth quarter comeback.
Yeah.
Like, you can't be down like on Sunday, you can't be down 24-7 at half against the Rams, but then be like, oh, don't worry, we always come back. Because at one point, the team you're playing is either going to be too good or your luck is just going to run out. Like, you just can't keep starting slow like this in the playoffs because teams will kill you. Teams will put the kill shot on you if that happens. And as a 2 seed, frankly, you should never even be in a situation where you're down 21-3 against a 7. It just shouldn't happen.
Yeah, and I mean, let's say, like, theoretically, this Bears team plays like the Broncos in the Super Bowl. That defense isn't going to let up 25 points in the fourth quarter. It's just not going to happen. So, for them to even get there in the first place, they need to start faster. I know I already said that, but just wanted to add that in.
Yeah. I don't know, but at the same time, like, man, Ben Johnson can coach. Caleb
Yeah.
Williams can make some plays. Like, it is somewhat of a good thing to feel like you're never out of a game, but you can't that shouldn't be the standard. Your standard shouldn't be, oh, we're the team that always makes the fourth quarter comeback. You want to be the team that says we dominate and then we're able to lay back because we're up by so much. Like, that's the team you want to be. You don't want to be the team that has to every week grind out a tough fourth quarter victory, especially against teams that you should probably be beating by more. That's just my take on that. Bears Packers next week. We will probably do a preview show sometime.
Bears Packers.
Bears Rams sometime later this week. We'll do a preview show at one point this week, just breaking down those games.
Yeah,
should be a good game. Should be a fun game.
Before we go to the next game, this was embarrassing for the Packers. Just want to point that out. This is
so bad that it made them question whether they want to bring back Matt
LaFleur. A meltdown of colossal proportions. And I know I can't speak on losing games in the fourth quarter, but this was a really bad showing from the Packers. So just wanted to add that in.
Yeah, just like
a little salt in the wound.
A game that you have to win, especially when you feel like the NFC is open. The NFC really felt open this year, right? Like, the Seahawks are the best team. You could beat the Seahawks. The second best team is probably the Rams. You can beat the Rams. I don't think there's a single team that feels unbeatable or insurmountable in any way. So, like, as the Packers, you're up 21-3 against your rival in their home stadium. You probably want to put them to bed. Like, especially when they essentially could not get the ball in the end zone for the first 3.5 quarters.
Yeah.
And then it just all came apart. It's pretty embarrassing. That's probably going to be one that, sits in their stomach for a while. And they're going to have to think about that and sit with that. But we'll see how they bounce back next year, I guess. I mean, there's nothing else to say other than, like, tough shit. You got to win that game. You just have to. So sorry, Packers. It's unfortunate, but that's just the way it is. Now we're going to go to the game of the week. In my opinion, Bears-Packers didn't really strike me as the game of the week because I want a game where I'm into it the whole way, right? I want a game where I'm watching the whole way through and I'm intrigued and it's back and forth and it's a tough matchup and there's storylines in the game. Bills-Jags was such a good game. It really was just like quintessential playoff football. Like, two teams just punching each other in the mouth over and over and over again. And each team is coming back with their own shot. But man, Hooper loves the game too. With the, like, I picked the Bills to go to the Super Bowl. I thought that they were the team that was going to come out of the AFC because of one guy. And it's Josh Allen. Josh Allen is the only quarterback, in my opinion, in this entire playoffs that can single-handedly take over a game. As good as Matt Stafford is, as good as Drake May is, as good as Caleb Williams is, I don't know if they have that. I got you guys. Don't worry. Hey, defense, you're not playing well? I got you. Hey, receivers, you're not getting open? I got you. Like, he's the only guy, in my opinion, that is in the playoffs that can do that. And he did it. He was playing on a bum knee with, like, sixth string receivers. Tyrell Shavers, who finished the game, was playing on a torn ACL. Just found that shit out today. Like, Brandon Cooks is making big catches down the stretch, and he's finding Dalton Kincaid. And this Bills team, man, when Josh Allen's on the field, you just can't count them out. You really can't. And that's why I picked them to go to the Super Bowl. The Jags are a good team. Like, the Jags had 13 wins. Their defense, I think their defense looked really great. Like, even though the Bills did score 27 and they ended up grinding that away, every yard felt so difficult to earn against the Jags. Like, it felt like every time you got like a 6-yard play, that was like a miracle. And at the end of the day, I think there's some conversations about Trevor Lawrence that need to happen. But let's start with the Bills here. Aaron, what's your takeaway on the Bills? How are you feeling about the Bills after this close game? 27-24 Bills win, by the way.
Yeah, this Bills team looked really strong. I think that Josh Allen played, as good as he could. He didn't throw for a lot of touchdowns, but he ran. He did what he does, almost best is that he ran the ball. He uh, really just kept his team in the game, as you said, and they looked really good. That's kind of a lot of what I have to say about it. A lot of guys stepped up for this game,
Yeah.
and defense. I was surprised about how good their defense.
Tre'Davious
Um,
White, who
yeah,
has been very leaky all year, I thought played a really exceptional game for the Bills.
yeah. Just this is if I have to, say one thing about this game, I think that this was the best team performance this week. I think as a team, they performed uh, the best out of any team this week, and both sides really complimented each other. Offense was doing their thing, defense was doing their thing, and if they play like this, I think that they can go a very far way in the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, uh, like, I think the narrative around the Bills has been like when James Cook isn't going, they're not nearly as good, considering that they don't really have great receiving threats. James Cook only had 46 yards
Yeah,
and they won. Josh Allen had 2 rushing touchdowns, a passing touchdown. Uh, I think this Bills defense like had a lot of big plays, couple picks for the Bills, especially the one to seal it. Um, this is a dangerous Bills team. And if I'm the Broncos, like this is a scary, scary game because on the other side is a game changer, and that's a game changer that you don't have. I think the marquee matchup this week, by the way, Josh Allen against that Broncos defense. Like, how is that matchup going to look? Will Josh Allen like how much could Josh Allen take over in a game where you're playing against a defense like that?
might be the biggest test of like his career so far.
Like honestly, it's going to be that tough. But we will see how that goes. Really intrigued by this Bills team. Really concerned about Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah,
I thought he played a very flawed game. There were a lot of moments during this game where he kind of looked like a little bit of a deer in the headlights type. Like the defense was constantly lifting them up. And like Travis Etienne, I thought had a really good game. I think their run defense is really good. I saw a lot of Trevor Lawrence misfires and not even talking about the picks. Like there was a play late where, or not late, just at one point in the game, Parker Washington's running up the seam and Lawrence just put the ball like 4 yards behind him.
yeah,
Like just straight up missed. Um, just man, it was bad. It was seriously a concerning game out of Trevor Lawrence because he was playing so well down the stretch, and you thought he was turning this corner where it's like this is the first overall pick. This is the generational quarterback. Like, what do you have? Like 30 touchdowns and like 4 picks in the last like
yeah,
7 weeks of the season. Some crazy stat like that. I thought he just looked really poor, and the rest of this Jags team really came to play. And he had some backbreaking misses, some backbreaking turnovers that just killed this game for Jacksonville, and really should have put it within like their full control to win this ball game. Aaron, what are your thoughts on Trevor Lawrence? Kind of like and the overall state of the Jags. I think it's fair to talk about because I think this was a team that had bigger aspirations than just a wild card exit.
Um, I think the overall state of the Jags is you're fine, but I think when you're looking at Trevor Lawrence, you're saying we felt like this guy's been turning a corner for 3 years now, and every year he just doesn't do it. Every year he has a good end of the year, and you say, okay, maybe he can, bring that into next year, and it just never happens. Let me just pull up his year by year stats because he's very inconsistent on every year. He just doesn't he's not that good. He runs. But I think at one point, if you're the Jags, you say this entire team showed up except for Trevor Lawrence. At what point is he holding us back? you have a guy like Travis Hunter that you spent a top pick on, and he just didn't play well. Whether that's his fault or Trevor Lawrence's fault for not getting him involved, really.
And then he's hurt now,
I'm
so
not
it's like,
sure. Yeah,
how would this
Yeah,
game have looked if like does Travis Hunter even change this game? Like for what we saw, like got
yeah,
hurt earlier in the year. Like how much does Travis Hunter really even affect this Jacksonville team? Is still left to be seen because they traded out
yeah.
two
So
first round picks for him.
his stats, uh, year by year. Rookie year was terrible. I'm not even going to talk about that. His second year, 25 touchdowns, 8 picks. You're saying, okay, he's arrived. This is what we picked him for. This is the number one overall pick. Then the next year throws 14 picks, and you say, okay, 14 picks is kind of excusable if he throws 35 touchdowns, but he only goes out and throws 21. Um, Last year was a disaster. Just hardly played, and when he did play, he was bad. And then this year, he was playing well, especially in that second half. Really, you good?
Yeah, that's other stuff he knows. Sorry.
Um, really turned it around in the second half of the year. Um, and then he plays plays like that in the playoffs, and you kind of feel like you're back at square one with Trevor Lawrence. So I think I don't know about square one,
Yeah, I
but
wouldn't put it that far. And
you're
I don't want to act like he played a terrible game. Like he had 3 touchdowns. Like at the end of the day, you throw 3
yeah.
touchdowns, it's okay, but it's
But
the
that
mistakes
pick
that really felt massive,
that pick
especially
at
given the moment.
that pick at the end, talk about big moments. That was a horrible throw. I have no idea really what he saw there. He had to fit into a really tight
Threw it in
window.
a double coverage,
Yeah, threw it in
tight
double coverage,
window.
tight window. You don't even try that throw if you're at your own 25 and there's 50 seconds left on the clock. You don't even try that throw. So I think that there's definitely a lot of stuff to be concerned about, especially um, in the playoffs. Or not he played well that one year. But so yeah, I think there's definitely something to be worried about with Trevor Lawrence going forward.
Another take too, like that I found weird. I thought Bashal Tutin was running the ball really well.
Yeah.
And he had that stretch where he had 3 plus 10-yard runs. Uh three straight 10 plus yard runs, sorry.
And they kept putting in Travis Etienne.
Guess how many runs he had after that stretch of runs?
One.
He had 1.
Yeah, I'm looking at the stats right now. 4 carries,
For
51 yards,
51 yards
12,
average.
12.8 per carry, and then Trevor Etienne ran the ball 10 times, and Trevor Lawrence threw the ball 30 times. I don't care if you're paying Travis Etienne or Travis Etienne more.
Yeah.
You do what's working.
Give the ball to the hot hand.
Yeah.
Like,
You do what's working.
that's not a major critique. I just found that weird.
Yeah.
Bashal Tutin was looking really good. Another take, Brian Thomas, and like I am so confused about what Brian Thomas is. Last year he was so good, and the offense was not very good. And you're like, man, now they get Liam Cohen. This guy's gonna take off. He only has 21 yards in this game. Over the whole year, he has 700 yards, 2 touchdowns. It's like, where does he factor in? They just gave Jacoby Myers a huge extension, and Parker Washington took off, and they have Travis Hunter. It's like, where does he fit in? Because they see Travis Hunter as a receiver.
Yeah.
Like, what is this roster now? Where does this fit? I don't know. We'll see. But anyways, a great game in Buffalo. Shout out to the Bills. They're going to play Denver on Saturday, the early Saturday game, which is 4:30 Eastern, I think. So gonna be an interesting game there. Speaking of 4:30 Eastern, the 49ers played the Eagles at 4:30 Eastern, and the Niners pulled off an upset in Philadelphia, 23-19. Sloppy. I can't say sloppy enough. Like, I think if I said sloppy for every sloppy play in this game, I would probably say it like 40 times. Jalen Hurts just did not look good. The Eagles' offense was really bad. A.J. Brown fighting with people on the sideline, dropping passes. That last throw that Jalen Hurts made, like quintuple coverage to Dallas Goedert. Saquon, I guess, played fine, but it's not like a Saquon dominance that you're expecting, especially against the real lack of push on this 49ers defensive line. I thought that the Niners offense did not play well. Brock Purdy had a couple really bad picks. George Kittle, the big storyline here, tore his Achilles. Christian McCaffrey did not run the ball particularly well. It was a really just sloppy football game where the Niners did just enough. And I think Robert Saleh is the real storyline for this game. Like what he did with the talent on this team and managed to scrap out a win. Very impressive. But you can't help but leave this game feeling kind of skeptical of both teams. I think the real storyline is Philly, but we'll talk about the winner first. San Francisco wins. They are going to go play Seattle in Seattle. They lost to Seattle in week 18. They now will be lacking George Kittle. They might get Ricky Pearsall back. It's up in the air. Fred Warner definitely won't be back. It sounds like Fred Warner wants to play, but Shanahan actually kind of like did not support that idea that he might play at all this year. Like they were like, he's the way he worded it, he's like, he's trying to come back. That's what he said. They're like, he's trying to come back. We'll see if he's going to actually play. What are your thoughts on the 49ers? Like this is a weird team. They're so injured, and on paper, they're not that talented. They score 42 against the Bears. You're like, oh man, this team's really good. If they score 3 against the Seahawks, you're like, oh man, they have no chance against the Eagles. And then they managed to win. Like, where are you falling with this Niners team?
If I'm being honest, I don't know. I don't know what this team is exactly.
Whoops.
But they looked fine, I guess. This team does not really scare me if I was like any other team really. But I think if there's one thing to definitely be worried about, it's their defense. I think Robert Saleh kind of carries that defense, if anything. Just with how hurt they are, and especially losing Kittle, I think it's going to be really hard for, Brock Purdy and that offense to even just score touchdowns. Every game you have to rely on CMC, I guess, but he didn't even look that good in this Eagles game. But yeah, I don't think this team is exactly scary, but I think that if they're going to win another game, it's going to be they're going to win 20-17. It's just how they're going to win every game at this point, I think.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about this Niners team. Like, they should have lost.
This is a very boring team, by the way. 49ers are a very boring team to watch.
Bland team, because here's the thing, they're a run-first offense that can't run.
Yeah.
So it's they're a run-first offense that CMC has been getting a lot of talk this year because he has so many yards, but this is one of the least efficient rushing offenses I think I've ever watched. They run the ball 30 times a game. They get 3.5 yards a carry, but they make it work. I don't know how they make it work. I feel like you look down, you're on your phone for their drive. They have a 2-yard run, a 2-yard run, and a 3-yard run. And then you're like, okay, so they're going to punt. And then you look up and it's first down. You're like, how the fuck did they get a first down? It's you're kind of just they don't move the ball that well. They had a couple big plays, like Demarcus Robinson, Juwan Jennings had a couple really big splash plays. But Brock Purdy had a couple really ugly picks. I don't know what to make of this Niners offense, because you've seen them be potent. You've seen them score a lot of points, but then they just don't look that good at play-to-play basis wise.
Yeah. I don't know what I was going to say. I forgot, but this is a boring team. I think if there's one game I paid the least attention to this past week, it was definitely this one, and I don't want to talk about it that much longer.
Well, we got to talk about the Eagles.
Oh, talk about boring.
Oh man, does any quarterback have like a weirder reputation than Jalen Hurts? Like he won a Super Bowl last year, played pretty well, and I feel like he's not good. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what. There is this weird cognitive dissonance where it's like his resume is up here, but like how I think of him is like down here.
Yeah.
And it's bizarre because I like Jalen Hurts, the guy. I think he's a good guy. I think he has great legs. I think he can run the ball really well. But man, Jesus Christ. Like watching him try to operate a passing offense is frustrating. And I will
Yeah.
say he wasn't getting that much help. Like AJ Brown just dropping shit all over the place and then going over and yelling at Nick Sirianni. By the way, I think he's played his last game as an Eagle. So
Yeah.
make my prediction there. But man, like, oh, Jalen Hurts. I do not know how to feel about him. I don't know who he is. And I
Yeah.
don't know how if I should respect him or if I should be like, oh, it's Jalen Hurts. You know, Jalen Hurts is gonna Jalen Hurt. You know, like I don't know. It's
Yeah.
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
if you're Jalen Hurts, you can obviously run, but if you want to be a quarterback, you have to pass. Like, I'm sorry, you just have to. And it's not like he throws a bunch of picks. He had a pretty solid passing year, so he threw like 25 touchdowns, like 5 picks or something. But when it comes down to it, you have weapons all around you. You have AJ Brown, you have Devontae Smith, you have Dallas Goedert, you have Saquon, who can be a solid receiving back. You need to use them. Like, are they a run first offense? I guess you can call them that, right?
Yeah, they are for sure. I think.
Um, and when that it's the same as the Niners when that run offense isn't working. Like Saquon, let me see, 20. Oh, he had 100 yards, but on 26 carries, um, just over 100 yards on 26 carries. When your star running back isn't playing how he did last year when he had like 2,000 yards, you are the person that needs to find a way. And when you can't find a way, you're going to lose the game. And I think that um, you really have like no reason for like you have like no excuses anymore. You have the weapons, you have everybody around you that you need, and if you can't put it together, then I'm sorry, you can't be a franchise quarterback. And I know he already is a franchise quarterback, but I think it's weird.
Yeah, a performance so bad that it got their OC fired.
Yeah,
Not much else to say, man. Like
very flat, just like the like
flat game, boring game. I feel like either team that went forward, I wouldn't feel very good about.
yeah. I think I feel
The
worse about the
yeah,
49ers though, honestly.
Wort. I said
What?
Wort. What? I would say what, and I said Wort. So
I think I feel worse about the 49ers though.
oh, that's an interesting argument. We could talk
Just
about that
because
a little
I
bit
think I
for
think
the
Brock
preview.
Purdy's just less likely to lead a team to yeah.
All right. Well, we'll talk about that when we get to the preview episode. Next game. I want to talk about boring. I want to
Yeah.
talk about
This
boring.
game sucked.
We're moving on to a shit sandwich that was Chargers Patriots 16-3. The Patriots win. I don't want to spend too much time on this. Like the Patriots looked okay. I think you wanted them to look better. You know, the 14 win team, you want them to really show out and like dominate and look emphatic and have a big dominant win where and in a way they did dominate, but it didn't feel like they were dominating. Their offense was pretty bad. You want Drake May to kind of have a more kind of awesome game. I think you want Drake May to kind of come out and be this awesome playmaker who just, dominates. And he really didn't do that. But their defense looked great. The Patriots, I think, are still a good team. I think it's good that they got their feet wet. I think they'll only get better as the playoffs go on. But they do have the Texans, and we will talk about that game. And the defensive path is not going to get any easier for this Patriots team. So It's going to be interesting to watch how they face that there. Aaron, your thoughts on the Patriots? I mean, it was kind of a underwhelming general performance from them, but is there anything that you're taking away from this game?
Um, no. I mean, if there's one thing that I think I'm taking away, I think this O line looked really shaky. Um, Gave up 5 sacks. Defense played well. There's not much to say about this game. I'm sorry, but like their defense played well. That's about it.
There's more to say about the Chargers, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Patriots just played a very flat game. And am I right by saying that like Will Campbell played really bad? I thought I remember him playing bad.
he gave up a couple big ones. I think he's coming off of injury. It's like his first game back or something from injury.
Yeah,
So I think he might be getting his feet wet.
but yeah.
But
There's not much to say about at least the Patriots in this game. I thought
yeah,
Drake May uh looked fine. He didn't play super great. And yeah, that's it.
yeah. I'm worried about Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
I think he just doesn't have it in him. We've seen it 3 times at this point. Like he's been to the playoffs 3 times and he hasn't really looked good in any game. And I mean, as much as you might want to blame it on the O line or whatever, Justin Herbert missed a lot of throws. He was just not really on. I mean, this is a Chargers team that I thought could be good. I thought I liked Justin Herbert. He might just not have it in him at this point to be like a playoff guy, like to be like a dominant playoff quarterback. And
Yeah.
that's not necessarily like a no, I guess it is a big like indictment of Justin Herbert. I think a quarterback that has his perceived stature should probably be playing better.
Yeah.
And he's just not. So, I mean, what is your take on Justin Herbert and the Chargers in this game? Because I think it was pretty, kind of crushing loss for them. Not only just the loss itself, but in the way it happened.
Yeah, I mean, with Justin Herbert, you can't get rid of him. Like you can't get rid of Justin Herbert because the 18 out of what it feels like 19 games this team plays every year because losing the wild card. Um, for 17 for 17 of the 18 games you play every year. Including the wild card game they play every year that they lose. Um, he's great. He's a great quarterback in the regular season, but when he gets to the playoffs, it's like he turns off his quarterback brain and he goes to his stupid brain. Like he he it just seems like he can't function in the playoffs. He had the game a few years ago against the Jags, where he played great that first half and then didn't do anything for the entire second half, and they lost and they choked a 28-point lead or however big it is. So you look at Justin Herbert and you say, okay, he's a great quarterback for most of the season, but we get to the playoffs and he sucks every year. And I think that leaves the Chargers in a really complicated spot because this is a roster that's ready to win. But I think you give. I mean, I'm in no way saying you trade Herbert or release him, but I think you wait until next year, see what he does under a new coordinator, see if he can actually play well in the playoffs, and even the regular season, just elevate his play. And if that doesn't happen, then you kind of start to get a little bit like this guy just might not be cut out to win a Super Bowl, but he'll play good for the rest of the time.
I agree with you, honestly. I think you pretty much summed it up well. Just not feeling very good about Justin Herbert. Like it's without Mahomes. You beat Mahomes twice this year. You get the sense that maybe you can make a run this year if things go well, and it just doesn't. And now you're just like, Jesus, we sucked ass so bad. Our OC got fired, and we'll see if he can just pick it up, because like it's not even like he just didn't, like, that team just didn't show up to play. Their defense showed up, their offense
The
just didn't show up.
defense looked great as always.
Yeah, Jesse Minter is going to get a job, I think.
Yeah.
So now we're looking at, you're looking at 2 new OCs.
Odafe Owe had 3 sacks.
Odafe Owe showed up, Justin.
Yeah.
You think that's what Jim Harbaugh said in the locker room?
Yeah.
Hey, Justin, Odafe showed up.
What about you?
Did you show up, Justin?
Terry Tart showed up. Tuli Pilotu showed up. What about you? Just so mean.
What about you, Justin?
What about you, Justin?
Come on, Justin, what'd you do?
No touchdowns?
Piece of shit.
Yeah.
No, but
next game.
Texans smother the Packers. I called the Packers because Aaron Rodgers was on the team. The Steelers. Man, what could you say? Texans defense is awesome. Their offense is not awesome. The Steelers didn't show up. They didn't show up at all. And Aaron Rodgers just didn't play a good game. They did not really ever have a chance. Once Houston got that defensive touchdown, the first defensive touchdown, the game was over, in my opinion. And that's it. I mean, there's not much else to say about this game. The Texans just really just closed it out. The game was closer than I think it looks on paper. Like, the Texans and the Steelers were kind of just trading punts at one point for a vast majority of the game. But this was a Pittsburgh team that was never going to win the Super Bowl. I think Houston, if things go right, can, with that defense and with what they can do on that defense. Derek Stingley and Daniil Hunter and Will Anderson and those guys are just so nasty. And they're a very dangerous team. Aaron Rodgers' last game, probably. Might be Mike Tomlin's last game, as we now found out. It's a pretty upsetting way to go out for the Steelers. Aaron, just in general, for both sides, did you really have any takeaways for this game?
I thought the Texans looked, at least their defense looked outstanding. I mean, this defense is so good, man. Like, just can't say enough about them. And as far as the Steelers, I'm going to kind of go into this for a second. I think, this game obviously doesn't benefit you, but I think this game in a little bit is going to kind of be seen as like a landmark for the Steelers. It's like, okay, we are moving on from Tomlin after this game. We're getting away from this very old team, right? They're pretty old. They have like
TJ Watt and Cam Hayward and
TJ Watt, Cam Hayward, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
But I think that isn't DK also like might get moved this offseason?
No, they just gave him a huge contract, so he's gonna be around.
No, I'm thinking of AJ Brown. But I think that this game is, very important. This game is going to change a lot for the Steelers. They're going to get, hopefully, I mean, now that you made the playoffs, actually, you don't really have an option to get a young quarterback. You have to probably go out and sign somebody. You disagree with that?
No, I don't. No, they need a new quarterback. I mean, unless they want to roll with Will Howard, which I guess the possibility. Like, I wouldn't say that they definitely won't do that, but I don't think they will.
But I think this game, kind of signifies obviously the end of an era with Tomlin, but also like the end of like the Steelers that we've known for the last 10 years, where they've been kind of aging and in playoff mediocrity. Like, they've never like they make it every year, but they never win. So yeah, I think that's almost a positive for the Steelers. It might not be as stale after this year, and if you go 4-13 next year, at least it's not 9-8 again. So yeah,
you almost wonder if this is the beginning of a mini rebuild for them.
I think it will be. I think they're gonna go like 7-10 next year or something.
Yeah, They might take a deliberate step back, or they might just sign like Malik Willis and just be like, we're going for 9 wins again. Like they
Yeah.
might just go headlong um into that. I mean, I'm not sure, but they might end up doing that. I mean, it all depends who their coach is, right? Like,
Yeah.
there's a chance that they just promote Arthur Smith.
If they do that, if they do that, they're never winning a game ever again. Like,
mark it down. Aaron predicts that the Steelers will go 0-17 if they hire Arthur Smith next year.
no, I think if they hire Arthur Smith, they're never going to win again.
Oh, for the rest of their franchise?
For the rest of their franchise, they're never going to win again.
Oh my God.
Or they're going to go 7-10 every year, because that's the Arthur Smith way.
Well, listen, I mean, the 9-7 thing was the Tomlin thing. Now you
No,
go and
7
get Arthur.
Yeah, it's a new time. 7
Now you go and
7
get
and 10.
Smith. We're going for
7 and 10 is the new 9-8.
exactly. That's what Arthur Smith is going to say on the first day.
That's the
of team meetings, guys.
Good morning, man.
7-10 is the new 9-8.
That's our goal. We're gonna have
7-10.
We're gonna sign Desmond Ridder, keep Jonnu Smith on the team, and we're gonna win 7 games.
You think they go and get Ridder next year? If
they go and get Ridder, old familiar face. What if they sign Kirk Cousins? That would be something.
You're telling me that would be crazy? I don't think it would. I don't think
it would either. But
I could see Loki. I could see Kirk Cousins playing quarterback for the Steelers next year. And you want my take on it?
What?
8-9. That's my take.
Oh my God.
I don't know if you can tell we're a little fatigued because you start off with these great games that we saw, and now we're at Texans Steelers, and it's really sucked the energy out of the room.
Yeah.
I think we know what we need to do now, Aaron. We're about at the end of the show. It's our first episode over an hour. So is there an effect on Streamlabs that we can use here?
There are sound effects. I can't do them, but there are sound effects.
I don't know if I can.
Are they going? Is that a premium feature now?
I don't know. Let me see. Oh, wait. Wait, where'd you go?
You took me off.
No, you're still. Oh, it changed the thing. Hang on. Okay, guys, ready? What do you want? What sound do you want?
A boom.
This is our first episode over. Everybody. And
police siren. Is that a slide whistle?
Yes. All right. Aaron.
Yep.
It is now time for you to give Today in History.
All right. Today in history, January 13th. Today in 1807, Napoleon is born. Today in 1929, Wyatt Earp died in the OK Corral fight. Oh no, not in the. At 50 years after the OK Corral fight, he died. Lyndon Johnson appoints first African American cabinet member. Johnny Cash performed at Folsom Prison.
That's also big.
And
give me one last thing.
Michael Jordan retired for the second time.
Michael Jordan retired for the second time.
I have my camera.
There's some bongos. And now I would like to wish a very happy birthday to Hendon Hooker. It is Hendon Hooker's birthday today. I don't know what birthday it is. I believe he might be like 26. Let's see. Hendon Hooker's 28.
Damn! It's been in the league for like 2 years.
Happy birthday, Hendon Hooker. Hey, hang on. Happy birthday, Hendon Hooker. All right. We're getting tired. We're loopy. An hour and 4, man. That's a long podcast. And we had to give a breakdown of Patriots Chargers. We had to give a breakdown of Texans Steelers, of 49ers Eagles. But we have some great games coming up. Seahawks Niners rivalry game. Rams Bears, kind of the old versus the new. You got Bills Broncos. Great game in my opinion. And what's the other one? Patriots Texans, which is also going to be a big test for New England with that defense. We will have a preview show sometime later this week, probably. Like look out for like Friday or Saturday. That's probably when we'll get the preview show out. Keep an eye out for that. Aaron, any last words before we get going? Any quote of wisdom?
Go Falcons.
Go Falcons.
Rise up. Rise up.
Rise up. Aaron says, go Falcons, rise up. Let that be with you until the next time. Thank you guys for watching. We hope you all enjoyed. If you did enjoy, please press the like button and subscribe. We appreciate it. We will see you guys next time for our preview show. Peace out.